Yeah, so the Senate's going to act this morning on our request from late last night at about midnight to appoint members of a conference committee to try to reconcile the differences between the House-passed bills and the Senate-passed bills. I'm hopeful that the Senate will accept that request. It's nothing more than an opportunity to negotiate further. But unfortunately, the Senate has been very stubborn throughout this debate. The House has repeatedly tried to compromise. We wanted to repeal Obamacare. Then we said we'd settle for defunding it. Then we said we'd settle for delaying it. And now all we're saying in the bill that we passed yesterday was that at a minimum, if the American people have to follow this law, Congress should have to follow this law. That the Senate Democrats had a simple choice: keep the government open or keep their special exemption from Obamacare.
Well, Congressman,
keep their special exemption rather than fund the government.
You know, whether we like it or not, this health care law is the law, and should it not be funded?
We've moved beyond that debate. We passed a bill a couple weeks ago to defund it. On Saturday, we passed a bill merely to delay it, after the president has delayed so many other provisions in this law, clearly indicating that the law is not ready to be implemented. It's not ready for prime time. And now the proposal on the table says two simple things: that Congress shouldn't get a special sweetheart exemption from Obamacare, and that if big businesses are going to get a break on the mandate that they provide insurance for their employees, then families and individual Arkansans should get the same kind of break and not have to buy insurance that they can't afford or that they don't need or that they don't want.
Well, now you guys, as you mentioned off the top, you feel like you've compromised a good bit going from defunding to delaying. The president says he won't sign anything that touches Obamacare in any way, shape, matter, or form. So how in the world are you two guys going to come to any sort of agreement?
I don't know. Maybe we can get Vladimir Putin to get involved, since the president seems willing to negotiate with tyrants from Russia or from Iran. We're simply saying that we want over and over again have offered an olive branch to the Senate Democrats to try to do as much as we can to protect the people of Arkansas from this terrible law. We've compromised time and time again. Now we've simply proposed that we sit down at the negotiating table and try to reach a solution. And the Senate Democrats continue to be stubborn, partisan, on party line votes, and refuse to negotiate at all.
Do you think the Senate wants a shutdown?
Judging by their actions, it's hard to see how they don't. Again, the House has compromised on 3 separate occasions, moving off of our initial legislation. The Senate continues on a straight party line vote to reject all reasonable efforts to compromise. And just think about what they rejected last night. All that bill said was that Congress, that individual senators and congressmen and their staff have to obey the law, that they don't get a special sweetheart deal because they're part of a ruling class in Washington, D.C. And the Senate rejected that on a party line vote. They said they'd rather keep their special deal for insiders that treats them uniquely in Obamacare than they would keep the government open.
Congressman Tom Cotton, live from Washington this morning. Congressman.